Hey everyone, it's Ross. Welcome to Season 2, Adventures in the Void Spacecast. This season we're talking about independent and folk science fiction tabletop role-playing games. The following is an actual play of the original Starfaring role-playing game, Classic Traveler, by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. So get your vac suit on, your sidearm ready, and prepare to exit jump space. We've got money to make and worlds to explore, and we hope you'll join us on these adventures. Out here on the Imperial Fringe, it's just us veterans of the Fifth Frontier War keeping the space lanes moving. Free traders like us, still willing to evade the pirates, the terrorists, the zealots, the criminals. They prey on these war-torn ruins of 100 worlds. They call us travelers. We aren't liked, but we're needed. We use our skills we learned in the service to operate starships and earn a buck. We ain't looking for trouble, but it always finds us. When it does, it'll find us ready. So, pretty simple. Last time, you're getting this big gun bolted onto your ship, but it takes time. So you decided to take a taxi to a slummy rockhopper kind of town joint, an asteroid that's been hollowed out by a bunch of indie belters and is controlled by a corporation called LSP. And one of your contacts, I don't want to call him a friend, Borvi, he gives you a contact. He says, hey, if you want a job, if you want to try to make money, I can get you in touch with somebody. I have a lead. And that is where you are right now.
Well, if I remember correctly, okay.
Yeah, we were doing other stuff. I'm going to hop right to the
water
bar.
checkout.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
And then so it'll go like this. This was like the night of, in terms of your standard biological night right now. So just before you're going to end the day, you're going to meet with this person. Because it was like 2 hours and you had went down into the downtown area. This is not like Startown Liberty. In fact, I got to put on... Let's see. Put the twangy music back on. Because this place is like, first of all, the way that Koenig's Rock is set up is they did fusion boring. And then, so they slagged a hole down into the ferrite, and the kind of cauterizing effect of this slag creates the seal. So they bore a hole, and at the same time it kind of creates the seal. And then, generally speaking, you have these walkways. And then cargo ways and pedways. And the walkways and the buildings and the cargo parts have gravimetrics. They have plating. So as soon as you step off from your ship, first of all, I think I said in this one, you have to put your vac suit on and enter. You have to go out in 0G with your mask on, and then you go through a pressurization chamber, and then they've got oxygen circulation and generation stuff in here. And as soon as you enter gravity again, you notice that you probably are 20 to 50 relative pounds lighter. This is about 0.75 G. So you feel a little unstable. Your vestibular system.
Paying for the ship out of pocket.
Say that
it's
again?
the effect of paying for the ship out of pocket.
Oh, the Lady of Mercia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can set the gravity in it to what you want. But, you know, usually on a planet, you can set it to 1G, just like in, you know, homeworld, from your worlds. Or whatever it is, if it's 1.2 Gs or whatever. But, yeah, in this...
Like, roommates ever have arguments, like when roommates are like, should we have
The
the
gravity up.
window open or
Yeah.
closed? Or like, turn the G up, turn the G down, like, you don't understand the planet I
Thermostat.
came from.
Who touched the G again?
Oh, Thak.
The worst thing is Lothak would just like, you could tell that she'd feel bad about it, and her ears would go back. And
Yeah, but I mean, while everybody else is asleep, that's when she goes bounding through the cargo hold.
she hates
her and
these
her and
jokes.
lady together having a good time, probably.
They do hate each other. I'll note that again. Yeah, they hate each other. Lady and Lothak do not like each other. So, anyways, you're a little disoriented, a little wobbly, and a little light in your step, even on the pedways. Anytime you exit a walkway or a building, or if you go down an alleyway, it becomes microgravity, and you enter a moonwalk. So that's what's going on here. And the other thing is that the rocks, it's been bore out, so like the rocks have this dark tint where it's been burned, but otherwise it does look like you're inside an asteroid. And then you have like a bunch of shanty towns that are all like piled up on each other, where people have taken corrugated like metals and stuff and just like put it together for their own purposes. Some places are nicer than that, and then sometimes you just have shanties. And then they have decorated it, so you got like bright lights and neon signs and stuff, and things that people have made to try to get your attention to hawk their wares and sell you stuff. And that's what this whole place looks like. Most people here are belters. As I've described before, people that are kind of belters and spacers tend to be lankier, pale skin. And most of them are human. Okay, so you go in this bar, and you see a couple things soon you enter in here. First of all, the sign for the bar says rock rats, and you can actually see where the old sign, where a bunch of old like fusion-powered lighting has long since scored the back where it used to say what it used to be. And it used to be called, let's see here. Won't let me keep my bookmarks. Okay. It used to be called the Hole in the Wall. And anyways, that's like you could just see where it's like dark, where that used to be scored on the stone. And then now in like fluorescent type, like bright lighting, it says Rock Rats. And it says under it, under new management. And there is a woman behind the bar. Obviously your bartender. Let me find. And she is a woman who's heavy set and has like jagged hair and really utilitarian clothes and a bunch of cyberware, and so which is the telltale sign that she was a Frontier War veteran. And she's got a jacket on that says like LSI, and it's got its logo. And there's some sort of creature that she keeps on the bar next to her. And I don't know how to describe this creature except like its underside is small, with small hands and feet, and it's looks kind of like a wad of chewing gum that's black, but then its mouth, it's got like that pug mouth, like pug face mouth, where it's just like super wide eyes and like super big wide mouth. She's got some sort of alien pet. And in the center of the bar, a bunch of tables have been put together, and there are people in clearly LSI outfits and uniforms. They have like a two-colored jumpsuit, and they're all the same. It's obviously the uniform of some LSI mining crew. You note on their uniform that it actually says their ship crew number. It says LSP, and then it shows MP-17. And they are being very loud. And you straight up see them pushing people around as you come in. One of you, like Shipley, gets pushed out of the way as one of them's walking by.
Can I trip him?
You could try to trip him.
Okay, I'll try and trip him.
Let me offer everything, and then you can absolutely trip him. So the last thing is a person sitting by themselves, and it's clear that this is your contact. He does not look like a belter. He's got tattoos on his face, spiked hair, and but he does look gaunt and nervous, and he's wringing his hands. It's obviously your mark. And if you want to trip,
wearing like a hood with shadows cast over in the corner of the tavern.
Sitting in the corner with a cup,
he's doing a terrible job of being the guy in the corner. A terrible
Let's not
job.
cause any trouble before we get a chance to make some money.
Before you say that, Shipley, you can make a dex roll under your dexterity.
Okay.
We'll see how it plays
So you're gonna let him push you around like that?
I'll trip you too. Oh, there's a blue one. I don't know why I'm keep missing that. Okay.
And started this time, y'all.
Did you get under it?
Yes.
You did. Okay. Yeah, you
Private roll.
Oh, okay. I can switch back. Cool. Okay.
That's fine. All right. Yeah, you totally trip him, and he goes flying and sends all his drinks flying out all over his companions, and they don't even notice it. And they blame him, and one of them like drags him up by the collar and starts threatening him, and it causes a little bit of ruckus between them.
Nice.
Smoothly done, Shipley.
When you get to
myself.
you get to the table, and this person's tattoos, he's gaunt. He says, "Are you all the Lady of Mercia crew?"
That's us.
Yeah, if you're looking for the Lady of Mercia, that's going to be us.
Oh, great, great. So you brought your ship, right?
No, we walked.
Back at the captain.
Why do you explain that?
We're not going to have our ship for a couple weeks.
Oh, gods. All right, so I think I have a plan. The name's Johan.
Wait a minute. Johan.
Yeah, they call me Lucky Yo. And I'm a belter. I'm from the Sword Worlds the Border Worlds Confederation. But I've been working here with my partner for the past a few years. You know, ever since the war. I could see. Looks like you. You were in the war, huh? Right. Well, look. I mean you no harm, friend. Look, war's over, right? War's over.
Could you cut to the point? What are you so nervous about?
Yeah. All right. And he pushes a data pad. The data pad is cracked down the screen diagonally, and it's frozen, and the data pad is flickering, and it shows an image of a rock. The rock has a strange coloration to it. It looks almost like how an ember would look if it were, bright white hot on the inside, and then you've got just and this is as far as a photographic image, and then you do have the option to see the kind of spectral analysis of it. So like it looks like, okay, thermal, it's hot. Spectral analysis, it's got something in it. The rock has got something in it. And he's like, so look, my friend and I, we got this J-Seeker ship, and we've been doing pretty well for ourselves out here. And, but it's not been going so well just the past few months, you see. I got a little bit behind on my debts.
I laugh.
What is funny about that?
It's not as uncommon a situation as you might expect.
My friend's
That's
just
all.
appreciating the concept of creation of value.
Oh, well, Lucky Yo always pays his debts. That's why they call me Lucky Yo. I find the rocks. Man, listen, I find valuable rocks, and I've found a lot of good claims. My partner and I, we were about to really make a breakthrough, and then we did. And he points to the datapad, and then we did. So, we got the scanner report, and we found this deposit. Radioactives. Right there, and maybe 100 tons worth. 200 tons worth. We were set. We could have retired. And so anyways, I was working on planting the prospecting beacon to make the claim, right? And so I go out and from the ship, and something goes wrong. That's the first thing. Goes wrong with my vac suit. And I don't know, but something struck my faceplate, and before I could clear the beacon, something like exploded. I don't know. But anyways, my partner, he gets me out and patches the leak, but I'm unconscious. I'm knocked out, okay? And well, next thing I know, I'm drifting away, wake up in the ship's on the fritz, system's shutting down, and the reactor's about to blow. So I get my suit back on, I take my partner's mask. He was dead, I promise. I promise he was dead. And I get his mask on, launch myself out into the black, and put out an SOS. Lose the ship, and I lost the claim. But you could see it right there. It's there.
And so we get it for you?
Yeah. Look, I just, some of the companies here, they won't hear me out. If I just had a crew and a ship that I could work with, I'll split the profits, just like with my old partner. Now, he's not around anymore to get it. We go out, stake the claim. Millions of credits.
You put out that SOS. Who came and picked you up?
Oh, it's a LSP ship. That's most
How
of the
long
ships,
did-
though. Go ahead, sorry.
Shipley, did you have something?
I was just gonna ask him how long he was floating out there before he was picked up.
I don't know. My suit, well, I wasn't in a good way, you know. So I got back to the station and turned my suit in. Didn't pick it up. I'll need another suit, by the way. And a little investment, just to assure my friend who has a J-Seeker ship that we could rent. And we'll need to send for mining supplies and scanners. They only have those at Alpha.
You're saying there's this opportunity, which is this rock. But in order to profit from it, we're going to have to make an investment in yourself, buying you a suit, getting a hold of some, what was it, mining supplies or something like that?
Well,
And
I mean,
what
yes.
else?
Listen, I really need the help. The ship payment. You see, I didn't have insurance on it. By the way, out of character, there is an insurance company here. You can do like Aflac and take insurance policies on like just about everything.
Sure.
I didn't have an insurance policy, and I need to pay. I've lost everything. Look. This is evidence. I just can't get anyone at the company, sir, to believe me. And I mean, on the tablet, it's true. That is clearly a spectral and photographic image of a rock
Kryptonite.
that contains radioactive. Yeah, which
What
is the
happened
most
to your-
valuable substance in the game. Yeah.
What happened to your partner again?
I don't know. Like I said, I was knocked out. It may have been an asteroid shower, some fast-moving rocks, something we didn't detect. But even then, I don't know how that could have happened. But something struck me while I was in EVA and struck the ship. He pulled me out, but I was unconscious, and when I woke up, he was dead, and the ship was about to blow.
Ross, does the tablet have the location of this cache? Does it have coordinates or anything? Or is he keeping that one to himself?
Yeah, you pick up the tablet, you look at it, you look at him, you look at the tablet, he looks at you, he's like, coordinates are right here. I'm not telling anybody where the coordinates
He
is.
said all night.
Okay, well, as I said, we won't have a ship for 2 weeks.
I think I can get us a J-Seeker.
So what are we then? Just miners?
Well,
True.
yeah, I mean, what else are you doing here? You're not a rock hopper?
For the moment, or whatever we have to be. You're talking about millions? That's a big word, millions.
It was more than 100 tons. I mean,
So what proportion are you proposing to share with your benefactors here?
I think it'd be very fair if you got half of it.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that on the road, shall we?
Ugh, he excels like, you know.
I mean, I'll look at the rest of them and say, hey, what are we here for if not to rock hop, right?
I'll push him a little bit. I'll be like, if otherwise we could keep ourselves busy. I have a garden I'm tending to, and Marcello's in like an intramural soccer league.
I
and
haven't
stuff.
played with the dog in a while.
He laughs nervously.
Yeah. 50% might
That's
be too
painful.
small,
All right. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you. He like desperately shakes your hands. Look, you're not going to regret this. Lucky Yo's just down on his luck, right? Like, we'll work this claim out, and we'll be rich. It's great. He's speaking really loudly. You can see a couple of drinks.
Yeah. Quiet. No, that's what Bellamy says to him, not what Chris is saying to Ross.
No, yeah, I know.
I am gonna look around the bar actually and see if anybody has like noticed his exaggerated movements and his raised voice.
Yeah, make a intelligence roll under your intelligence.
Oh, we're doomed.
Nice. That's under your intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, you can tell that the LSP people, some of them have noticed that this group is back here because you're the only other group in the bar. And it's obvious that, it's obvious that you're discussing a deal. That part's obvious,
Okay, so tell us about this ship.
I can order the supplies, get the ship ready to go in the dock. I can have everything ready in about 48 hours. Well, 24, 32 hours. I gotta get supplies, mining, survey equipment, everything I have to get from Alpha Garrison. I have to order it. And then I have to...
My friend. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just wondering what do you propose is our upfront investment?
Right. Not much for what you'll get. I'm thinking, let's see here. Ship fee, 35,000 credits.
You're laughing.
I want to whisper to the captain. I wonder if he can maybe buy his supplies and then bring us the receipts to pay him for them.
Worked with contractors before.
Yes. Yeah. That's a lot, isn't it?
He agrees to that. He says, he's like, yes, of course, I'll show you everything. I'll prove it. What the cost is, it's just at cost. I'm not interested in some measly 35,000 credits. That's not going to save Lucky O's. That's not going to help me meet my obligations. I need a lot more than that. This is what's necessary to pay a friend to use a ship that I happen to know doesn't have a crew and could be relocated to Koenig's, and to get the equipment in from Alpha and ship it in. And rent a vac suit.
Let me ask you something. Suppose we go in with you. Suppose we agree to this offer. We go out, we do the job, we make a claim. Presumably, we mine the ore or whatever. You have a buyer lined up.
You don't have to mine the ore. I thought you were a rock hopper.
Well, I'm junior rock hopper.
Dabble.
He looks around. Oh, you're not rock hoppers. It's okay. We can work with this. It'll be okay. All right, look. Oh, your first run. All right. Well, the way it works is we'll take an area and find the rock again. That takes time, but I know the area. Once we identify the rock, according to this information, then someone will need to go EVA in a special suit. It's called, let's see, this is page 32. It's called a...
Who's our EVA specialist?
A buggy. A prospector buggy. It's like a large, a really large EVA suit. You'll get strapped into it, and then you'll take you'll need to do certain things. it would be wise if we took an ore sample. That will help reinforce any complications that could arise when we make a claim, a prospecting claim.
I see.
You'll take a beacon, and the goal will be to plant an explosive charge and tear a hole down into the rock to place the beacon. Once the beacon is placed, and we have evidence of it in an ore sample, we don't do any mining. We come back and it's ours. Our job is to find.
Well, you said that you'll be borrowing a boat from your friend for this, right? Just one with no crew?
Right.
And nobody's going to be... You don't already have a pilot lined up for it or anything. We don't have to be working with anyone else.
That would be your job.
Good.
Is the crew. In fact, it might be best if I do the prospecting part. Does anyone have any experience in advanced imagery and scanning?
I mean, I'm sure Doc Ocean probably does. He's got, like, everything, right?
Yeah.
Medical scanning counts, right?
Lucky is
Our
like,
doc is a real smart guy.
I was like, we could work with this. It'll be okay.
He's gonna keep saying that. That's his tagline.
Some of this is us joking around. Like, we're not actually entirely incompetent.
The way it works, once we find the rock, it takes some time to scan. We're talking about millions of kilometers of black. Finding a single rock and its signature is not easy. You have to do a signals analysis, and then a spectral analysis once we zoom in from that signal. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. You'll have to look at the scanning, look at the imaging. Usually, the way a rock hopping crew works is you take watches 6 hours at a time, 4 watches a day. And usually, if you're lucky, after a couple of days, you'll find the signal you're looking for.
What do you think, Chapman? Shipley?
We don't have anything else lined up.
Yeah.
And I don't think the investment he's asking is going to make or break our situation at this point. That's not enough for our payment.
Yeah. I got another question for you. Can't remember his name. What's his name?
Lucky Yo.
Lucky Yo. Lucky Yo. Yo? I'm wondering about the territory out here. The game that you're playing, is it a competitive game? In other words, once we're out there, will there be other crews maybe vying for this opportunity? In other words, are we going to have to fight anybody off?
You can make. I want you to make 2 rolls under your stats: social and intelligence. You do both.
Hold on here. Okay, so I'm going to make the first roll under my social. I think that's under my social. Wait, let me look. Let me look for my social.
Meets or under. At or
My
under.
social is 8.
Nice.
So, all right. So my intelligence is 10, and let me roll for that.
Interesting. Okay. He squints when you say that. He rubs his temple and he says, "It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Look, the way it works. Yes. You're right. It's competitive here. It's true. The mining company, the LSP, they take over the large sections of mining. Most of the zones that are profitable, and prospectors that are independent try to find big finds. That's what I do. Like this one. The find only counts once you turn it in to. I wonder if I can find the term for it. It's called a claim limitations broker. You may sell your cargo on returning the expedition if you have it. Unlike claims, a load is not bid upon, but if you have a claim, claims are not sold to carbonaceous or ice asteroids, only nickel, iron, or others. A claim can be sold if it's between a 10 and 1 million ton size, and you turn in the claim to a claim market. So I don't know if you would. I'll say that you know this. Once you make it back and you officially have like claim documentation and the beacon is there, if someone tampers with the beacon and you have the proof and you've already turned it in, they are committing a crime. And everyone will. That's sort of like, usually you can't get by with that. You know, that's like piracy.
Okay.
But
Right.
you have to make it back. I think you would at least know that, I think.
You may have already
Okay.
explained this, but does it work anything like in real prospecting? Like you got to buy a chunk of land to be able to mine on it to find a claim? Or like is it the whole thing is open season, like anyone finders keepers for whatever they grab first?
I think it's close to what you're describing in that basically if an area is not claimed. And that's why indie prospectors go into like wild places to try to find, the big find. That's what indie prospectors do.
I just don't want like us. He found a great claim on a big rock that is already technically owned by somebody else, and
Right.
then we get caught or something.
That's a good point, yeah. All right, any other questions? Or it sounds like we're doing it. No other questions? He says, this is great. This is great. Cheers. And he starts drinking. Now, special rules for Koenig's Rock. I love this. The Startown Liberty has special rules, like you remember when you were there, like all these different things. Koenig's Rock, how does this work?
I don't trust that guy as far as I can throw him.
He's up to something.
Yeah, I guess it just
Nobody
depends
keep him
on.
out of like we want somebody to have him in our sights the whole time we're working with him. I don't want him outside the ship just on his own, messing around
Yeah.
with things. So I don't want to end up like stranded somewhere out in the middle of space.
End up like his buddy.
Or inside the ship, just on his own.
Yeah.
Speaking of messing with ships, as you exit for the night, the Rock Rats bar, you can actually hear a vibration in the station. And you can see outside the airlock from the window that somebody's ship has had an explosive decompression. And slowly in zero-G shoots, station fire rescue and safety control people start to surround the ship and try to reseal it and evacuate people and stuff like that. And you see the person at the airlock that would act as like guards, which would be like customs, but they don't really do customs. They just shrug and then they go back to playing cards. And there are 3 things that you can do here in Koenig's Rock, and you don't have to do any of them. But you can, if there's something you want in particular, you don't have to like search around. Okay, you can just ask like, hey, I'm interested in seeing if there's this particular thing here. I have a huge list of like stuff, and there's all sorts of weird stuff here. If it's here, I'll just tell you. You'll be able to find a map of it, and I'll say, yeah, you want to go to this place, and I'll guide you. It's a city crawl. So as you go, I'll describe some of the things you see. That's one option. Second option, you can just walk, and I'll describe what you see. It has its own special encounter rules. Third option is to... I don't remember what I was going to say. But obviously, you don't have to go out and look for things. But if there's anything you are looking for, if you want to try to make deals or do stuff here, you can just ask for what you're interested in. And the third thing would be I can propose some things if so.
I was gonna say, last time we already did a little bit of that, if it helps give us a jumping off point. I said I wanted to hit up the pawn shop. I still want to do that.
Yeah.
Cap and Shipley said that they were going to seek rumors, and I think it's still smart if somebody goes, does that at least once while we're here. And then we brought up a weird food market and going shopping at the vac suit store to see if they have anything interesting.
Wait, who needs a vac suit?
Apparently, Lucky Yo.
Lucky Yo.
Lucky Yo needs a vac suit.
So I made a note that
Do you guys get a size? I don't know.
I got a note, minus 35,000 credits. You can assume that he gets a vac suit to rent, to ship, takes all care of all the equipment and everything with that. Let's see here. All right, so the first thing was the pawn shop. Let me look here.
Chapman, did you want to go to the pawn shop?
I do.
What do you want to find at the pawn shop? Or do you want to pawn something?
I was going to say, it's not the joy of a pawn shop that you don't know what you're going to find.
So it's simple enough. It says, like, Emperor's Pawn. And it's right here.
I'm going with Chapman.
Pawn Emperors. Okay, so you go into the pawn shop. Let's see here. This is also, the person working the pawn shop is also clearly a 5th Frontier War veteran. It is a dark-skinned female with brightly colored dreadlocks and multicolored cybernetic eyes. And you can see that they are wearing like, what are those types of pants that have... They look like khakis, but they're like cut off at the ankles. Can't remember what those are called.
Jams?
Free? No.
Capris. Yeah. So, yeah. And
Lederhosen.
and on her muscular thigh is a barcode. And she says,
Is she a cyclist?
To be on a 0.75G platform, there's something that she does.
Yeah.
There's something that she does.
Thighs.
Yeah. So, sorry, did I say thighs? I meant ankles, the bottom part, the ankle. Why did I say thighs? That's weird. Yeah, no, the ankle, which you can see, has a barcode on it. And anyways, she says, take your time. And there is every kind of basic non-military type of item you can imagine in this world in here. And it's actually pretty well organized.
I do like fighting with creative weapons. I mean, my net I've got a lot of mileage out of it, but there's got to be something else, right? They got toilet plungers? I don't know.
I'm in desperate need of some nose hair clippers.
I think
Looking for that.
you totally. So they have. So all right. First of all, you go to the nose hair clipper section.
Horrified that Marcello would buy used nose hair clippers.
Right, and here.
Oh, did you grab a used toothbrush while you were there?
Here's the deal with the nose hair clipper section. Is
Whole section.
A whole arrangement.
there are three.
Wow.
They like
This is
pull
the
out
best
safe and they have them.
store I've ever been in. I've never seen such collection.
There are 3 options here. The problem is they do appear to be nose hair clippers, but their descriptions are not written in Anglic. And one of them is clearly for aliens. So
Oh boy.
it's not an Anglic. It's definitely a nose hair trimmer. And if you ask the proprietor, she will tell you, yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of those is a nose hair trimmer. But one of them definitely isn't. And
Well, you know,
you don't know what
yeah,
it does. So that's the trick. But they're very cheap. They're 10
Sure.
credits.
Or- Okay. I mean, can I try before I buy? Is that a thing here?
Even though this is law level 0, opening the case of something and starting to trim your nose hairs is usually frowned upon.
I'll be frowning if you do that. I won't like pretend I don't know you.
Come on, you've been in the war. Wouldn't like when you're in the mud, you don't care if somebody's using somebody else's nose hair clipper, do you?
All right. So
Now
yeah,
is not the time to be prissy, Chapman. Come on.
she says if you try those things, you have to clean up whatever happens.
Okay, that is fine. Give me the one that's for alien. Let's give that to me.
Right. They're all not written in Anglic, so you're not sure. So I'll give you 3 options. I wish I could scribble here.
Okay.
Actually, let me just get a scribble pad.
Do you think that's like a hipster thing? Like instead of straight razors in the future, there's like alien style grooming stuff. Things meant for other species.
That is
I have
totally
no
a
doubt.
hipster
I have
thing,
no
right?
doubt. I have no doubt. So the main difference is one package is larger than the other 3. So there's a little bit of a Goldilocks situation going on here. Okay. 3 different packages, and the main difference other than the size of the packages is how they would mount. So one of them is handheld. The other one is something that uses a double bracket, and you would like stick it on something, and it you would like lean into it, And then the other one has quadruple suction cups that you would put on something,
Okay.
and then you put your face in it.
Yeah. Right. And is that one really big as well?
Yeah, it's big enough for your face plus face and a half.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't have more than one face, so. Plus, based on my experience, anything that mounts to a wall with suction cups is going to come down to the floor, and something as big as that, it's going to come down even faster. So, definitely not going to buy that one. I think I'd like to try the smallest one, the handheld one. Seems to make the most sense when you're in a ship. Don't have a ton of
All right,
space anyway.
I rolled the die. So you take the handheld device, and so in this case, it probably looks like a nose hair trimmer, like in our current 21st century. And you take it and you take it, and it clamps into your nostril like this, and all of a sudden you feel like something shoot out of it, and then it just shuts down and it goes, and something gets shot into your nostril, into you.
I'm imagining your cybernetics go completely haywire.
Well, I'm trying to catch. I can't speak, and I'm trying to catch Chapman's eye.
The the proprietor is like, "You're gonna pay for that."
I'll do my best to help Marcello.
All right. So, and you're okay after a while, except something is in you now.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So, meanwhile,
Hey, you punch up, lady. Punch up, lady.
I got a name.
Do you have an X-ray? What's your name, by the way? What's your name? You have beautiful eyes, by the way.
Thanks. It's Reza.
Reza?
Yeah.
I love those cybernetic eyes. Do you have an X-ray machine in your pawn shop? Seems like you've got everything.
I mean, we've got some imports for imaging devices, but it's up to you to figure that out. That section's over there, and they have some various imaging devices. Yeah, and
I wander off that way, and then like you can skip to Chapman.
Okay. There we go. All right, Chapman. What did you want to
accompany us?
We could all say we're together if you want. Like, this, by the way, can be the next day, right? Because you have 32 hours. So you go to the hotel. Hotel stay is whatever it is. I'll look that up later.
I will consult with Shipley. Do you think we should raid their whole collection of whatever board games they might have secondhand? Or, like, do we need to fill out our band with more instruments?
I'm in full support of raiding, but I'm not there. I'm going to get to the other bar to hear rumors. So I can't advise you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure whatever you come up with will be wildly entertaining.
I'm going to take whatever board games they have. I want to know what they have in the future. I assume probably still Monopoly even at that point, but like maybe something else has caught on in the time between now and then.
There's definitely Monopoly. And let me describe the other.
Don't forget Settlers of Deneb.
Yes, that's great.
You better get the 6 to 8 player expansion and settlements and lords expansion. It's useless without that. It's not even the same game.
Actually,
Probably costs 35,000 credits. It's out of print.
so there are the board games are and they're totally board games with, like, synthetic fiberboard boxing and stuff like that. There are 6 of them. One of them is simply called Imperium. Another one is called Quadriplanetary. Another one is called the Sky Galleons of Capital. One of them is simply called the Fifth Frontier War. Asteroid. And Dark Star.
I assume Asteroid has an exclamation point at the end. That was
Asteroid.
Designed by Gary Gygax. How much are these going for?
These are all collector's items, and they're all like 200 and 300 credits.
I'll take it to. Would you say her name was Rise? Raise?
Yeah. Reza.
Reza, thank you. And I say that I will take the whole set for 800. Which I know is not going to be the final price, but...
Make a charisma check under your charisma. Or, sorry, social.
Okay. Equal 7. So, good?
At first, she's like, "Why don't you round it up?" And you're like, "No, look, these have all been sitting here, And she eventually relents, and so for 800 credits, you get all 6 board games.
Wow, that's Holy crap, what a steal. Alright, cool. What was the name of that third one? Sky something?
The Sky Galleons
Sky
of
Galleons.
Capital.
Thank you.
I want to play that one. That
Galleons
sounds
of-
super adventure-y.
Yeah, that sounds like some like dice heavy Ameritrash game. Alright.
Yeah.
I am going to pull one of these out every single hyperspace jump for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah, we can do
I'm
that.
throwing away my education. I will no longer be doing my trying to improve my education. It's probably too focused on board games.
And you were talking about weapon stuff, right? Let me look up and see if there's anything weird. So, you find a, this is a pawn shop, so, you find a vacuum pouch, for, 45 credits that can contain 5 medical kits that it will preserve the medical kits under severe conditions. You find a magazine accessory for a holster, which can add like 4 magazines on the outside of the holster, which makes the magazines easy to get to, and they likewise are in such a way that like it would prevent the ammunition from being damaged. There are large a few large flight cases, Imperial Navy style flight cases, which are just surplus. There are and then you see a couple of backpacks, and the rest is just bric-a-brac, like old Imperial Marine drinking canteens and, you know, stuff like that.
What would I expect with a flight case?
A Imperial Navy flight case, if it's still in good order, is a vacuum safe, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear safe case. So nothing's going to hurt it, you know, unless it takes direct damage in some way.
I think that does sound nice, but I'm not sure if there's ever been a point in the campaign so far where that would like come in handy. It's just like a rule of thumb.
They've been used once, actually.
Have they?
Yes.
My notes aren't that thorough, I'm sorry.
You guys were hauling equipment. It might have been the other group. They were hauling equipment up to the high and dry in Imperial Navy flight cases, and they were able to be dragged under silt water and without harming the equipment in any way.
Very, very useful.
And there weren't any other accessories for firearms other than the holster.
There's not, but there is a
magazine.
weapon store, I'm pretty sure, if you're interested in like weapons. It's
Yeah. I can make that my next stop after you go around with everybody else, but I think
yeah,
out of
there's a
this
gun
selection,
shop.
I'm just gonna, I'll just walk away with my board games for now.
Okay. And then Bellamy, is there anything that you want from the pawn shop?
I thought I was with Shipley.
Ah, no problem. Okay. All right, let's scan over to you all.
But in general, if we've got time, I think we split up last time before we sort of...
You don't
I
have to. It's whatever you want. You can be together or separate. It's up to you.
All right.
We've got our comms.
Yeah.
So
You guys are busy trying to get rumors when you just hear coming in. Hey, do you guys think I should get Asteroid or Dark Star?
let me throw a few things out here. So, like, you can imagine there's like, what do you call it? I don't know, like one of those mall map style schematics. Okay, you can
Directory.
a directory. There is a directory with map where you can find these things. So here's some places you might find a rumor. You could literally find one at the hairstylist, whatever you want. But this is just what kind of leaps out to me. There is as far as transporting goods, there are purchasing agents that are the purchasing agent offices are the places that deal with free traders for the movement of goods for the 5 major corporations that operate in Bowman. There is a entertainment complex, including Hollow Entertainment. There is a bunch of bars, and I can give you like a whole bunch of different options for bars. That's where you would usually find rumors, is at bars. But there are a couple of particular ones I want to point out here on the directory, in case you're interested. Try to find it here. Shipping office. Consultants. So there's a range of offices that offer, and this is immediately apparent to you, Bellamy, because you've dealt with types like this before. These are essentially professional grifters. Like there are people here that arrange deals and figure out where to go and kind of guide you by the hand and concierge you in the underworld. There's just a bunch of consultant offices. And then there's a place called well, actually, consultants are literally that, just consultants. But then there's a place called a Tallcatch, which is a person that is like a professional troubleshooter, grifter, fixer, etc. And certainly professional nose thing person for the right price. So, anyways, I just want to throw some options out there.
Well, I'm not, to get a little meta, I'm not looking to grab any plot hooks right now, because I feel like our cup runneth over at the moment. But it might be good to see if we can. I would like to put out feelers just over the course of the afternoon, evening, and see if anyone else has heard about this claim that Lucky Yo is talking about. I mean, it seems like there's some shadiness. His story about his waking up and finding his friend dead is beyond unlikely. Either he killed his friend or somebody's defending that space. That's not the kind of thing that happens randomly and he doesn't know why. So I want to actually listen for that specific kind of information. Listen out for the name Lucky Yo. Listen out for people talking about a radioactive claim, or or people popping up, showing up missing, prospectors missing. I don't know. That might be a bit of a stretch, but.
All right. Why don't you pick your skill for that and go ahead and make the skill check for it?
Streetwise, I think.
Yeah, I would even say you could add your admin to it. It makes sense to me.
Well, each of those is a 1. So, do you mean add +2 or just roll at a +1?
Dice modifier +2.
Alright, well, I'm just going to roll 2d6, and oh my god, what a terrible roll.
Oh no.
That's a 5 overall.
So I'll give you, this takes some time, okay? So I'm going to move, part of that is I'm going to take a whole bunch of the day away, and it's going to be late afternoon by the time you figure this out. And one of the things, you asking around, you don't find any inroads with any potential employers from before. That would have like been a dead ringer, like, all right, we know this for sure. Instead, you talk in looking for the bar that's particularly good for this. The Fire in the Hole, which is a belter bar, Essentially, you go around town and try to figure this out, and you are basically unsuccessful. And by the end of the day, almost early evening, late afternoon, you find yourself back at the strip, back at the Rock Rats bar, and you go to the bar over, which is the Fire in the Hole, and Fire in the Hole is a bunch of indie belter rock hoppers from Bowman, and you finally find a lead where one of the people there is like, "Yeah, we know Lucky Yo. Yeah, he's I mean, if you haven't figured out the joke yet, there's a reason we call him Lucky Yo, okay? I mean,
Yeah.
that guy, oh boy. But sad to hear about his ship and his friend, though. They raise a glass. You know, his partner, his partner was a good man. Kept Yo going, kept him straight. So anyways, you do verify that what happened to him did happen, at least. He lost his ship and his friend. And Shipley, what are you doing?
Okay, yeah, I want to know more about, because, yeah, I'm thinking, look, there's more to this story, and I'm wondering if, since it is radioactive, if there's someone else interested who maybe doesn't want to be found out. So I kind of want to know, ask some about visitors, unusual visitors, people passing through, rumors of pirates, that sort of thing. Traffic that's not the usual corporate stuff or the Belcher work.
Is your intention in that to try to figure out what might have happened to him, or why are you trying to figure out about unusual traffic?
Yeah, my intention is trying to figure out what might have happened to him, and if there's anybody here who we might be run up against when we're out there.
Gotcha.
Just try and get a better sense of who's out there and who we might be running into later on.
Do you have any skills related to this, like carousing or admin or anything like that?
I have no communication skills whatsoever. Oh, I have jack of all trades at 0. I can probably use that to do some sort of caddy thing.
I agree. So essentially, this will allow you to make I'm just going to say in this case, I'm going to say a regular dice modifier 1 check. So to get an 8.
Okay. I'll just roll 2d6 and
nice.
8. Oh,
You
okay,
got a 9.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So something becomes pretty clear pretty soon. You depart from the bars. Maybe you walk around with Bellamy. You're trying to get an eye on what you're talking about while Bellamy's trying to figure out if the story's true. In the process of that, you go down to the you find that there are like 3 or 4 levels to this asteroid, and you go to, let's see, Old Town. And as you go through Old Town, you can see a food markets here, a bunch of food markets that are made by the hydroponics bays. A general store for general goods and things, accountants, clothes, but also there's an arbiter's office. And as you pass the arbiter's office, you can see groups in there, and it's clear that to you that LSP like runs the show here, and that there's factions within LSP. So the way the law works here is you pay for the law. You got the money, you can pay for an attorney, and you pay for an arbiter. You basically pay for your own judge and jury here. Like if you pay for it, you get it, and then it's resolved and then binding. So LSP is able to do that, and of course they're able to find every single indie miner guilty of everything they want. So you also, as you're walking around in the alleyways, can see that there's graffiti like FLSP, you know, like So there's an obvious like tension here between the independent miners and LSP. And the other thing that you see is nothing else. No Kefirkanok, no Imperial, security people, Imperial military. There are some other companies present, but they don't seem to operate a lot of the operations, a lot of the guts of how things work. Koenig's Rock is dominated by the tension between LSP and the Indies. That's what you find.
Okay.
So, I think by finding nothing, you have found probably something. Like what you'll find out there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. So back to the pawn shop. Now that takes you establish that pretty soon. You're able to see that. So I'll get back to you in a minute. We'll do a couple of rounds of this. Let me do an encounter check here.
How long have you been a board gamer, Chapman?
It was something that I was introduced to when I was in the military, and I often found ways to sneak away from whatever duties I was assigned to, so I could play games instead. And I frequently got punished for this.
Bad boy.
So where do you guys go next? Marcello and Chapman.
I'll check out that firearms store since I already brought it up, I guess.
Right on. Okay. So, okay. Marcello, do you want to go with him or do you want to go somewhere else? And you could totally go somewhere else.
I'll go with him.
Okay.
I'll go with him for now. Afterwards, we'll go somewhere else. Seems like the GM wants to split the party.
No. I don't have any plans. I have no plans. That's why
Then he's going to have each of us get ambushed and we'll all be by ourselves.
Gunshot.
just
That's why I
teasing.
can't find it.
We see through your ruse, Ross. You're a classic railroader. There's a plot line away.
So I want to describe kind of. I need to make a mark here so I don't lose it. All right, there we go. I'm gonna kind of. You guys will travel, but as you go, you leave the pawn shop, and a belter comes out of a nearby bar. Now, your other friends are gone somewhere else. They're in a different part of town. I didn't want to do this with them because you traveled too far, so I won't recap everything that I'm about to show you all. But a belter comes out of the bar, and they say, "Hey, wait a second. You're not from Bowman, are you?" Says that to me.
No, just passing through.
Nah, you wouldn't be out of here unless you were down on your luck or trying to go out to the belt for some reason. Listen, come here.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
great tourist destination. We were hidden at the beaches and oh my God,
Yeah. Right. Okay. Look. And he holds up a data pad. He's like, "I got something for you. I can't make any money off of this, but you give me 500 credits right now, I'll give it to you." And he flashes it, and it's an octant. And an octant, is like a 3D grid, a coordinate in space which is what miners use to identify where a valuable find is.
Now, what are we going to
Another
find at those coordinates?
Salvage.
And Chapman. I think we should go.
Yeah, I left my 500 credits in my other pair of pants, so tell you what.
Your loss.
I'll meet you later at the Rock Rats bar this evening.
Your loss, traveler. He walks off, goes back to the bar. So let's see here.
Oh my god, this place is thick with them. This is. I like this
The
place.
thing is, that wasn't very different from the actual job we are pursuing. Like, very similar offer.
What are the
Yeah.
odds it was?
Yeah,
it
I know.
was the wreckage of Lucky O's ship. The same wreck.
Oh my god.
Where did I...
Actually,
Oh, I know where I said you were. So let's see here. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wonder if there's a chance that we recognized that that isn't the same ship, is it? Same coordinates, is it? You saw earlier in the bar?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause that would have been creepy.
So meanwhile, Bellamy. Now this is asynchronous. Okay, I'm kind of hopping around in different times of the day and different people.
Yeah.
So Bellamy and Shipley, you all went off while they were at the pawn shop, and this is before. This is just when you get to the arbitrator's office, the arbiter's office, where Shipley, you see all the stuff in the alleyway, and you see what's happening with the Belters and with LSP. Outside the arbiter's office, you see someone walk out. Oh, I gotta do this roll. Okay, right. And they leave the arbiter's office angry, and they're muttering in a language other than Anglic, and they see you. And they see you kind of like snooping in the arbiter's office. Now this is not the rock hoppers, the Belters that you saw weeping, basically, as they're having their like livelihood stripped away under an arbiter. This is somebody else that you see walk out, and they're also upset. And they say, "Hey, wait a second. Hey, I can see Cyberware. You're free traders."
What of it, friend?
You make money by moving things.
You got something in mind?
Making money is kind of optimistic, but yes.
Let's step down this alley for a moment. I'm not armed.
I am.
He points to right here.
Great conversation started right there.
He says, so as soon as you do that, you kind of lift off the ground in microgravity, and you kind of float around a little bit. And so he pulls himself along the rocky walls and different things that are bolted into the walls. Wow. He says, listen, a deal that I had made, it didn't go too well for me in that arbiter's office. I've got about a month left. I've got a cargo, and and it's labeled as aircraft parts. I'll make you a deal. I will give you these parts half off, because they're not doing me any good if they're going to take them away.
And what are they?
That's... just don't open it.
Well, if we're gonna resell it, kind of need to know who to sell it to. What
Well-
kinds of people might be interested in buying these aircraft parts?
I can point you to the right markets for aircraft parts.
Got it. And what is half off?
So let's see, aircraft parts. Yeah, actually, you can go ahead and make your value roll for an aircraft part. He
3d6? Or
yeah.
What is that?
It's a 2d6. Yeah. And you can also add your bribery, admin.
Well, I would have to add only admin. I don't have bribery. But sadly, the result, once again, is 6. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I have to do the math. Sorry.
Okay.
So there's good news and bad news. He says 650K. He's lying. Aircraft parts run at standard 1 million per ton, so half off would be a $500,000. So he's trying to mark it up, but he's in a rush, so you will not be selling them as aircraft parts, right? So that's the thing. You're going to be sending it to a market that's going to take whatever's in these boxes with no questions, which means that it's basically a 500K good at 130%. So you would need to either find a broker to ensure a higher resale, or you would need to roll higher than you did. Like, roll like a 8, 9, 10.
Sounds like not only not worth it, but not possible, even if it was worth it.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's see here. So you tell him no.
Yeah. Some other time, friend.
He walks away without even saying goodbye, exasperated, cursing in some language other than Anglic, as he regains his footing and lights down onto the pedway and storms off. And, I apologize. Oh, wait, yeah, we're back with Chapman and Bill and Marcello. And you guys are going to go to... Well... the gun store, right? So that's not very far away, so I'm going to kind of describe things as we go here really quick. All right, so you're walking back through here. I'll kind of describe some of this stuff. This right here is a... it says the Koenig Merchants Association. And it has one of the nicest structures that you've seen here. It essentially looks like a courthouse. And following the directory, you have to take a lift. When you take the lift, you enter the lift, and all of a sudden you enter microgravity, and it has like handholds, like a subway, but instead of sideways, it goes down. But you hold the handholds, and you're in microgravity. So you start to kind of float up, and you have to kind of hold on, and it goes down into a different level. Enter the pedway again, and you are back in 0.75G. So, this, a sign says computer network offices. And you can see a bunch of library terminals and large computer systems and things like that. And this is like basically AT&T / the government telecommunications / computer / IT place. This says the water plant office. I guess this is in case you all want to do a siege of this place or something. I don't know. And then
Put that in my back pocket.
this says Gervidix Sales and Services. And then there are a bunch of residential areas. And the directory takes you, and you are now in the city called Koenig. There are about 3 or 4 different parts to this asteroid. And you pass some residential areas. There are people out and about today, walking around, shopping, doing their jobs. And you see here that it says, Valdis and Gerbach Associates. It's an attorney's office.
Well, let's hope we don't need that.
And then finally, you get to a place that just says, guns. And they have guns. They have basically every gun you would want and all kinds of accessories and anything you could imagine, except for military grade items, except for some exceptions I'll mention in a minute, and tech level 9 and less only.
What's the vibe of the street right outside the gun shop?
Slow, lazy. Outside the gun shop, actually, no one's outside the gun shop.
Okay. All right.
What did our captain
They don't like
Gentlemen, we're
loiterers
here.
there.
I will lightly browse for a bit before probably just asking an employee for some advice on something, ask for their selection about something I'm looking for. I want something that works well at melee range. Even a melee weapon would be fine. And that's discreet. I don't need to be always walking around with a sword at my side. Something like a stun gun even would not be a bad option to have, just in case I have a conversation that goes poorly.
Make a roll under your social.
Sure. Success. 5 under 7.
The proprietor here, let me get another spacer here, is a man. They have bloodshot eyes, and they wear like tactical gear. They've got like some obscure brand that's not an Anglic, that's clearly some kind of weapons manufacturer, and black tactical pants that they're wearing, and they've got a data pad at their side where they could take inventory or ask questions or whatever, and he's like, so you're interested in our special selection?
I love all things special. After
Question.
what I've been through, I've seen everything conventional. So,
Question is, can you afford it? Like, what kind of budget
Is he
range are
looking
we
at-
talking?
Is he looking us up and down and looking at our clothes? Is he looking down his nose at us?
No, he's probably licking his lips because you're a traveler. So he probably thinks you're rich compared to Space Somalia here. Like you're coming into his gun store and he thinks he can fleece you.
Want to buy our
Pretty
debt off of
solid.
us? Um, well, I guess I should probably consult against the actual value of some of the equipment that I have on me to see if any of it is particularly nice. It's the kind of stuff I might be able to trade out or sell. Compare that against how much do guns often cost and other fancy weapons?
Well, are you looking at like, so a weapon is pretty cheap. It's like 500 credits, but are you looking at like 500 credits for a normal weapon, or are you looking at like 50,000 credits for a special weapon, or are you looking at like 500,000 credits for like this thing is the best thing in the game?
I was mostly curious to just see what there is, even if I can't actually buy it. You know, I like browsing. There's something fun about looking at the stuff you can't
Yeah.
afford.
So, yeah, to clarify, he has every weapon in the game that's below tech level 9, except for military grade stuff, except he does have automatic rifles and automatic pistols.
I already got each of those.
Ask him if he has the gun from Fifth Element.
Ice Cube system. Man, that
Um,
thing had so many cool things. As a kid, I was just like, I want one of those so bad. 1997.
100%.
I was
Now,
like, dang.
Ross, in my classic facsimile version of Traveler, all the weapons listed in that, it looks to me, are the basic ones like we have in our pinned weapons and range matrix document, which is mostly just like very basic kinds of guns, like types, and then obviously a lot of antique things. Um,
Yeah, they have all that, and I forgot to mention that they also have some things like telescopic sights, shoulder stock, folding stock. Yes, and let me see if there's any other tactical gear in the back. But he's also kind of like saying, hey, I'll offer you this thing under the table, but he wants to know that you're in the market to spend some money.
no, I guess not at the moment. I'm not. I don't feel financially secure enough to be doing that kind of thing. And it looks as though this game does not, at least at that book's writing, have anything for like a basic melee stun gun kind of thing. Which I think actually, like the earliest like commercially available or like police use tasers were probably made in like the late '60s, early '70s, so they might have been like new enough they wouldn't have made their way into the earliest version of Traveler.
So he says that as well. He's like, so you're interested in some non-lethal options?
Um, yeah, I mean, I always like uh, having that option open of getting to decide whether or not.
And it sounds like
What
this
about
might
some?
might be something that you want for very close self-defense. Is that right? Something
Yeah,
discreet.
yeah.
All right. He pulls out he's got some boxes, and you can see faded that in blocky English it says Graham emblazoned on the top of these boxes, and these are these blocky, rugged weapons cases. And he pops one of them open. It has this like new car smell on the inside. You can tell that it hasn't been used or sold, and he's like, this will go for about 6,000 credits, and it has the features of a body pistol that does what do you call it, subdual damage.
Hmm. You said how many credits?
I think I said 6,000. 6,000.
And let me take a look at our money log.
Meanwhile, since you're looking at that, is there anything you're interested in, Marcello?
Pick up some pepper spray.
Pepper spray. Let me look here.
You know what my ideal would be is like a really heavy duty joy buzzer I could just wear in my palm. You know, go for the handshake and then knock them out.
Perfect. That'd be great.
Wow.
He says, I'm sorry, I don't have anything like a spray. I gotta admit that most things people deal with around here, they want something more than a spray. Besides, try to spray something in this environment, it's all wonky. The pressurization when it's transported. Anyways. But
You got a point there.
you all might be interested in these. And he brings out some police riot weapons. And they will stun someone if they fail a save. And they are, I will say, let me find the price here. I will say they are 1,200 credits each. There's 2 of them.
What do they look like?
They look like cattle prods. They look like a rod with an end that's like a electrical current conductor at the end. He says now if you strike.
What'd you say?
Yeah, that's one problem is a lot of worlds they're kind of finicky about things like this. So this is considered something beyond a like a submachine gun usually. Usually worlds aren't too keen on having these in them. There are ways to work around that, if you ask me. And then the other thing of note is if someone is wearing a vac suit or certain types of armor, this won't be effective.
Yeah. Besides that, it's just not really my style. Thanks anyway.
Ah. Oh well. I'm going to pan back to the other folks, and then if there's something in particular that you all are interested in, you can think about it. Let's see here. Okay. Meanwhile, back in Old Town, so now Bellamy, unfortunately, like you spent most of the day, so I'm going to give another turn to Shipley. So Shipley, you find out that you find this graffiti, you have this encounter in the alleyway, you see what's going on in the Arbiter's office, and you get a sense of like what you might find out in space, which is mostly independent belters and LSP. That's probably what you're going to find out in space. Is there anything else that you want to try to look around for and find out? Or
Yeah, actually, I was inspired by the not pork rinds to maybe spruce up and Lothak's digestive issues to maybe spruce up our culinary options. So I'm gonna kind of look around and see what kinds of foods they have, aside from whatever we've been eating recently. Frozen lasagna, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the Old Town actually does have the food markets. So let me see.
I think what would be like the space equivalent of, an Asian market where you get exotic stuff. It'd be like Zidani.
Well, the thing is,
Like
it's
face
like
huggers and stuff you can buy.
This is a
They're
Donnie
not-
food market.
yeah, they're right. The thing is, you're gonna have what's actually exotic, but then you're gonna have the actual stores that people that have ethnic enclaves use,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna have the stores that are selling what pretends to be exotic to travelers.
Okay, so here are some protein options that you run into that are available out here.
They're like authentic Barger dog food, but it's not even real Barger dog food.
You find
This for-
tin cans of, and this is exported from Walston. There
I don't
are
know.
10,
Fish?
yeah, and it has, you know, the symbols of fish on, and there are 10 cans of something. And if you
I'll
want
get
to try a sample
I'll
of
get
it,
him for low sec. I do not want to try a sample.
okay.
I'll get him for low sec. Who seem to might miss some local for home food.
I imagine
Feeling
this
kind of
place
guilty
does
about
smell
accidentally
gamey.
poisoning her.
It's it smells like a food market. So like, in the tin cans, the fish is crispy and chunky and fermented, and it has the sweet fermented smell, but also a hint of engine oil or ship transmission or ship hydraulic fluid.
It adds that special taste.
Yeah. What are their meats?
awful.
There's something that looks like beef stew, but it's purple. And it's in a spicy kind of cheese. Like imagine pimento cheese, but then beef chunks in it. And
All right, try some of that.
you eat it.
I'll try a little bit. Yeah.
It tastes
Really?
like a spicy, a hot spicy pimento cheese with beef in it. That's what it tastes like. Except the beef is purple.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get some of that too.
Okay, I'm looking if there's any other protein options here. There's something that they claim is a protein, but it's a paste. And they say it's a protein paste. It has a strong pickled smell. Like if you'd popped open a thing of like pickled eggs or pickled bologna or like a pickled product. It has that pickled smell to it.
I think I'll pass on the taste.
All right.
Kind of suspicious about that.
There is a meat with noodle mix here that are in vats, and they will store up the vats and load them up for you if you want to put on, or stored to put on a ship later or put back, sent somewhere via cab, etc., etc. It has it. The noodles are blue, and the meat is a sticky meat in the blue noodles, and it smells like a sweet, tangy smell to the noodles, like cherry. And then there's
It's like a blue
something
raspberry noodle.
there's something that wafts up to the top of your nose that you can't quite place. You'd have to eat it to really figure out what this quality is to it. There's something about it though.
I'll bring the Rio.
And now it's a matter of how much food do you want? Is this to supply Lothak and have an alternative food supply, a protein food supply for the dog?
Yeah, I want to do some of that, and I also kind of just want some general other options for the ship. But since we don't have a ship right now, I'm not sure how much, if I should actually buy anything now as opposed to waiting. But it's good to know that there's some options to get when we eventually do restock the ship.
They can seal it for you, and either send it via. You would have to pay if it's sent via taxi.
I'm not sending a taxi to this pirate secret sword world base. I feel like that would go
with a bunch of food, like Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Hey, I found some cool street foods. I found some good food trucks. So I just wanted to send the Uber Eats to your secret pirate base.
You'll want to try these noodles.
You still knock anyway because they want to meet the space Vikings.
Okay, so we're putting a pin in it for now, but okay, gotcha. Okay. One more roll, and then we're coming to the end of the day, and then look at the next day. So this is 5, 1. Okay, 5. The same person, now you don't know this, okay? But the same person approaches you all. And he says, "Oh, travelers. You looking for some goods to move? I've got a good deal for you."
So which of us is he talking to?
To you, both of you, to Marcello and Chapman. He's like, I can't hold on to this good deal for long. I've got maybe 2 weeks.
Just once, I say this out loud, just once I want someone to come up to us off the street and say, I got a real crap deal for you. I could sit on it forever. I could ask anybody, in fact.
Most settlements you have to like search for a deal, and you only get on a D6 of 5+ once per week. But this place has it once per hour. I might have it wrong. Maybe it's supposed to be once per day. But either way, it's like...
You know, I'm already spoiled.
Does he have a trustworthy face?
No, absolutely not. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sarcastically blow him off. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just blow him off.
He gets mad, but there's nothing he can do
I'm
about
gonna
it.
blow him off harder.
Okay, meanwhile, back at the food markets.
I was just gonna say it's kind of like getting off the plane at the airport in Puerto Vallarta. You're like getting out to the curb. You just have to pass this gauntlet of like people
Sharks and
getting
hawks.
in your
Yeah.
face. Yeah, trying to get you. Oh, hey, come to our resort. Blah blah blah. You know, it's
Yeah.
all this.
That was like makes me think of like places like Boracay, where it's just like you're right. It's like a gauntlet, like where you're just like pretty aggressive. Let's see here.
My first day in Korea. It's quite a day for a young man.
Did you take one of the taxi sharks?
No, I just walked outside the walls of the camp that I was in, and within 15 minutes, I was being offered unsavory things by a woman in her late middle ages who was standing outside of a door and like ushering me into basically a door that was nothing more than like a ramshackle door frame with a curtain. And yeah. Yeah, you can't walk. You walk 10 feet. People are yelling at you.
You almost went into the blacklist place right out the gate, right on arrival. Ajima.
Ajima.
Anyways.
Cuba was a lot like that, except a lot of it was, you know, like whatever income they make off of that, they still hand it off to the government, which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of this one. This seems important. Whoops. Shipley, when
Yeah.
you leave the food market, someone bumps into you. And then keeps walking.
Have I been pickpocketed?
You check your pockets.
Yep.
you find a small, like a micro data pad, which data pads don't come in micro size. They don't have like, iPad minis or whatever in this world. But you find a small, tiny data pad. And it says Yukon Seeks Summit, and it provides a date and a three-dimensional coordinate.
What?
When's the date? Like how far out?
I'm looking at where this...
We may not be able to make that unless we take a taxi.
Split the party. If it means meeting it.
I think I have this right. It's in 2 months from now, and it is in the Elizabeth solar system.
Holy crap.
Where is that?
Oh, okay then.
That's
Yeah, that's
Trailing.
trailing several jumps trailing from here.
that's past our danger zone that we're trying to skip over. We
It's
got 2 months
past
to
it?
get a jump ship.
Okay. Well, anyway, I guess
Okay.
Man, imagine getting reverse pickpocketed.
After you see this information, the data pad, it's a typical Mission Impossible thing. Like the thing is going to stop working.
Okay.
Crap.
It explodes.
I
Okay.
wonder if I could fill it to the pawn shop.
After it stops working. Totally. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Make a charisma check.
So, somebody can make this into a keychain or something.
Yeah. 7.
A 7, is that under your social? Good Lord, why do I keep saying that? Is that under your
Is that my social?
yeah.
Social is +0, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to find what the price of a data pad is.
it's like
First-
1,000. Oh, well, I don't know.
They're like, wow, we could totally jailbreak this, and they offer you 2,000 credits for it.
You just dox Yukon in 2 months.
The fate of the Imperium. How poetic. But it gets-
Armed guards will be fine.
Okay.
Serves him right.
All right. So, meanwhile, back at the Port Hotel, you guys make it back. Time passes. The next day comes, and that evening comes. Now I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit because we're running out of time tonight. Eventually, you make it back to the bar in your various journeys, your various wanderings. Well. And by the time that evening of the second day, before you go to the hotel, before you go to your room, and you did 2 hotel stays times 2. That night, you find Yo back at the bar, and he's like buying everybody drinks, and he's like, "I've made it this time, y'all." And he's drunk. He's like, "We got it this time. I'm telling you. I found a crew, and
Would you shut? I'm gonna immediately I'm gonna storm through everybody and say, hey, I don't know, Marcello, help me out while I punch this guy. So I'm just gonna grab him by the collar and yank him over to the dark corner.
Here, I got his arm.
Okay, you all.
No. You make it good with the folks. Keep entertaining him.
Okay.
Oh,
I just
okay.
gotta get him to shut his mouth. Find out how much he said.
They already
I
have your
whispered his-
name. They're like, "Are you Marcello?"
Oh.
Yo says that.
Hey,
Yo
have
says
you-
he's got a deal with you guys.
Captain, here's how you're gonna rewrite the public narrative. Very loudly say, "Alright, yo, you owe me money. Let's take this outside."
Nice.
Yeah.
Make sure that nobody here comes away with the impression that we're on good terms with this idiot.
And
I'm
yeah,
gonna do just that.
you can see that there are belters in here that have been hearing this, and there's also a crowd of LSP people and the bartender, and even a few common folk from the streets. So, but you drag him outside and get him to calm down. He passes out. You drag him back to a corner, I don't know, room, wherever he can sleep it off. You go to your
Yeah.
hotel, and the next day comes, and sure enough, on the pad is a scout ship, a 200-ton ship that has been retrofitted with a J Seeker suite. Yo, he's clearing his hangover, like he's wiping his eyes. He's like, I told you we'd get the equipment in, and I'd get a ship ready for us.
Listen here, you drunken fool. How many people did you tell your plans to last night?
What are you talking about? I have friends in town. I'm a friendly guy.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. So the answer is everybody.
You're just not you're uptight.
Yeah, you know what?
You don't
Yeah,
know.
my crew will tell you that. They could have told you that for free.
Let's see here.
It's because of guys like you that I became a guy like me.
I don't know.
But there's
what that
symmetry. There's
means.
symmetry to it all. You know, the universe, the give and take, whatever they call it.
I don't know what that means, but that does not sound very nice to me.
It's not going to sound very nice when somebody else attacks us out of nowhere because they're trying to get a jump on us. Because
Jump our claim.
Yeah, because you opened your big mouth. But anyway, I guess we'll deal with that when the time comes. Is this ship armed at all?
It is armed. It has 2 pulse lasers. I'm sorry, a pulse laser and a sandcaster.
God. Okay, I was going to say 2 pulse lasers.
Sorry.
That's more heavily armed
That's
than...
silly.
Yeah. I think the scout chassis can support only 1 hard point. Could be wrong about that.
I will say that it has one of those dual.
Yeah, the dual
Yeah.
turrets. Well, that's good at least. And does it still have thrust 2?
Yeah, it's got thrust 2, thrust 2, jump 2. Its sensor package is designed for scanning for asteroids. It's not the military package. Yeah, and then it's got a dual turret, pulse laser / sandcaster, and it has the basic software computer 2. I think I'll have to look. It's got whatever the default scout has.
Anybody else see a Klaus and a Bellamy?
Not bad. That'd be weird.
He's beside himself with outrage.
I like the scout vessel. It's a good. We've had fun with it before.
So,
All right, so
I have some very traumatic memories with this kind of boat.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I believe in you.
I slide him a Walston tin.
nice.
Back. Now, when you guys recovered the, what was it called? That very first ship for the scout
The
services.
high and dry.
Thank you, the high and dry. Did you crash into the lake and have to, rebuild it from underwater?
we gently descended skillfully into the lake.
You weren't like fully submerged
No.
and like had to find
we
where
were
the
totally
hole was in
submerged.
the hole so that you could patch it up. takes like an hour to find that hole.
Yeah, no, we
And then like
did
we were like water
basically.
up to our ankles, and like there was in some rooms
The
it was
ship was
electrified,
upside
so we had
down.
to, like,
Yeah.
move on.
My impression from what I've heard is we did everything you did, only we made it look way cooler. Whereas yours was like the Firefly version of just like just everything
Yeah,
around
it
you
was
is rattling, and it's just like I got this.
I was not the pilot then. It was not my piloting roles that failed then, crew.
Yeah, the time caught up with you guys and you crashed. You crashed into the water and had to be bailed out. The other crew made it faster and then also passed the piloting check and used the water on purpose. And they just waited there until it went over the flow went over them, and then the pyroclastic flow, and then they just came out of the water and flew back to the starport as heroes. Yep. Anywho, let's see. So here you are in a J-type seeker ship, and it smells funny in here.
Bet.
These ships have a problem where if they're not extremely well maintained, the filters are difficult, and the living space is very small. So to have staterooms, if the filters aren't thoroughly cleaned, you basically get used to a constant body odor smell at all times and really cramped. The cockpit's a lot smaller, and everybody's kind of shoulder to shoulder in here. And there's all kinds of crap in your way, and there's like wires and stuff hanging out of panels and stuff. You got to move out of your way to get into different areas and things. But you ask for permission from the Starport Authority for departure, and you get it, and you're back out in space. And he insists on navigating.
Oh boy.
Because he doesn't want to reveal, so he gives an initial coordinate, but he says, I don't trust, I'm sorry, but especially after everything, all the mean things that you've said,
Yeah, whatever. And then I'm gonna draw Shipley aside into the captain's desk area and say, you keep a close eye on everything we're doing, you know. We may have to find this place again. I don't trust this guy. I don't know. We just never know.
Yeah, can I, from another console, can I see what he's up to, or no?
And then I want to ask Marcello to do his version of the same thing. Maybe you can cook up a a keystroke analyzer or something like that.
I had a similar idea, different direction to that one actually.
Good idea.
But I think Shipley's question first, maybe.
Yeah, so for what you were saying, Shipley, it's you. He's like not succeeding and hiding what he's doing, and you can see him plot a course. It looks like I'm trying to find a ship.
Does the ship come equipped with a breathalyzer? Because I'd like him to take a test first.
You know
We all
he'd
know he
fail
would
it.
He
fail.
fails. Yeah.
You can probably analyze like the air quality of the cockpit cabin right now and just like localize the
This
sensor.
is the only breathalyzer you need. You
Yeah,
can smell it
exactly.
from this far out.
Yeah, it's coming out the pores, as they say.
Trying to find. There we go. Trying to find like a little ship I can put somewhere. Yeah. So it's too hard to see other ships. So he plots a course, and it is nearby. And let me look at. But anyways, it's the first day, so I'm just going to roll this real fast. Who is doing sensors? Is it going to be Marcello, or is it Shipley or Marcello? Who do y'all want to do sensors right now? Is it Marcello? Who does sensors?
Okay.
Normally,
I'm
all
usually on
books.
navigation, so I guess I'm just kind of.
It's usually books on sensors, so it would have to be a replacement.
Okay. So yeah, Marcello,
Sure.
you notice something. You are talking about like watching and everything, but so Shipley, you're
Yeah.
watching. You know, you're keeping an eye on Yo and his navigation with the flight computer, and how it lines up with, you know, um, the flight path and the piloting from Chapman. Meanwhile, I assume you'd be on the sensors just because with the encounters you all have had, Marcello. And Marcello, you detect that within I gotta kind of flip back between these two. Oh. Okay, but I still need you to. There we go. You detect a ship, Marcello, at max detection range, almost, just within it, about 550,000 kilometers away. It is matched V, and it is on a similar parallel vector.
Everyone, I think that we have a tail.
And that's where we'll end the
Into the
adventure for the night.
sensors.
All right.
Mythic Traveler is a space western merchant classic traveler campaign in the Mythic Mountains RPG Play Club. The music's by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech and Greg Gibson with Timberzeal. Classic Traveler is one of the first tabletop role-playing games, and the first sprawling space simulator game ever created by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. You can find the free facsimile rules of Classic Traveler by Far Future Enterprises in the description. Mythic Mountains RPG is an online play club that focuses on folk RPGs. Those are the RPGs that aren't run or controlled by some huge corporation, and they don't have some set way to play and ain't nobody can tell you how you can play them. We play them however is the right way, and that's the way we want to do it. The table is the authority. We upload our games weekly on YouTube for everyone to enjoy and sit in without performances, fancy equipment, or monetization. It's just a group of people playing folk RPGs our way. You're welcome to join us, but until then, be safe out there between jumps.